co-parenting. Did you expect our co-parenting to go the way that it goes?
What was my expectations going into co-parenting with you?
I guess.
Yeah. The fact that you were brought up in a household where co-parenting was part of your guys' everyday life, I think I never ever crossed my mind whether or not it was going to be able to work. I think it was going to be more so, can we come to a place of maturity where emotionally we don't get frustrated because of maybe our relationship not working or being where we're at, where we would probably want to be or maybe should have been in our personal relationship. That was probably only the one area where you wonder, like, how's this going to look? But I always knew it would work because you grew. It's not foreign to you. Obviously, it's new for me, but I feel like I'm a chameleon, and you're such a chill person. So I was never worried about the co-parenting part because I think it's you were around it.
I always am like, why is Tristan around? Like, that's always a question I see, which I find so insane because I'm like, well, Tristan is the father of my kids, and Tristan will be around as long as you want to be around and you want to be present in your kids' lives. If I don't have to do 2 separate birthday parties and to this, I don't want to. That's not the way it should be. So, and also, I do think people forget 5 years have gone by since we've broken up. You and I have dealt with a lot of really personal things during those 5 years. You've had the loss of your mother. I think the loss of any parent is the most transformative and horrible experience to ever go through. Mm-hmm. Also, the care of your brother. That's like one of the most serious responsibilities. And having to go through that, I think that when you and I were together, you probably, obviously you just thought, oh, I don't know what you thought. I'm going to say what I think you thought. When you and I were together, it's like, oh, this is great, but I got this. This girl is here. You can do whatever you want. I think after the true cheating, when I stayed, I'm sure that let you even subconsciously think, oh, I can do this again. She'll stay again and again. Who knows? I'm giving you what I'm thinking. Then when you and I really broke up, you and I definitely weren't talking for a little bit, but then with the loss of your mother and all these things, I think you started to see me in a different light. You started to see me in like, wow, she's really there for me. And she's there for me when she doesn't have to be. And we started to connect on very serious matters, whether it be, grief and death, or now we have to communicate for the care of Amari. And how do we do so and still co-parent? And I think it just made you see me in a different light, and we became really good friends. And now we lean on each other in a friendship way. You're a great dad. I love how much time you want to spend with your kids. I never want to take that away from my children because they, of course, love you. You're their father. And I think you and I have grown to have this different level of respect. And we just have a totally different relationship than we did when we were dating. Like, I saw you did a podcast and you were like, I would do anything for Khloé. And I saw a lot of the comments were like, oh, you would do anything but be faithful. That was one of them. That bothered me because, yes, you've done dumb, but also it was so many years ago. I'm not excusing it. I'm saying we're in a totally different phase now. And I think when you said that comment that you would do anything for me, you mean like the person that you know now. Like, there's just a different level of respect. I think a much more mature level of respect, and it's without intimacy, which I think is also a much deeper level, because what's keeping us here is true, solid qualities about one another. There's no intimacy distracting or tainting our thought process here. We also live in the same community. There's so many things that, why shouldn't you be around? I think as long as you keep your own personal issues out of it, for me, the more the merrier when it comes to our kids.
Yeah, no, I think this was the most beautiful thing about this podcast that we're doing is that we are showing people that co-parenting can work. And I think the reason why people ask you that question is because other people, or maybe themselves, them and whoever their old or ex-significant other is, there's no sign of respect. I think it starts with respect. I think the fact that we both respect each other, that's the pillar, right? You can't have a good co-parenting relationship if you don't respect the other person. And when people break up, and whether you have a baby mom or a baby daddy, there's a lot of there's a lot of disrespect that happens. I think it's whether it's someone is, you know, maybe publicly dating where people think it's too early, or maybe one might do something very disrespectful, maybe like we're just making it up, like talk on social media bad about someone, right? Like it all stems from like disrespect. And I think more people are used to co-parents being disrespectful than actually learning to just be respectful and loving, and starting from there. I think so. The people that say that is because they don't see that too often.
But I also think, like, just to keep it real, you and I can be disrespectful.
Yeah, but
We
I
keep
think
that private. But I think because it's natural to be like, get the out or
yeah,
whatever.
that's just anger, right? I
No,
think
but
respect is like
I get
deeper
that.
level.
But also, yes, what I hear is people will be like, why don't you give that same energy to Tristan? Listen, I've given you all the energy, but I'm not going to do it on a public platform because my kids will see that one day. You're the only person I have kids with. So I can give every other person public energy all I want. I'm not going to give.
New clips going on social media. Khloé Kardashian had a huge influence on Tristan Thompson's decision to get a vasectomy. Yes, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this is how Khloé got Tristan Thompson to getting a vasectomy in their story that they sat and shared that nobody knew about. Seeing how people are reacting towards this, one says Khloé is actually an amazing woman, and I'm saying I already signed off 2 embryos, and I'm saying I love Khloé, finding a man who cherishes, respects, and adores and loves her like no other. She has such a good heart and deserves it all. Lamar and Tristan both never deserved her. Another also saying, nobody asked for this interview. And I'm saying, why was she allowed to have such a tight grip on such a long lasting decision, especially if he may find that one and she wants kids? Craziness. So what do you think about how people are reacting towards this new clip that Khloé and Tristan had to share to the world out there? So comment, like, share, and also subscribe.